Hi, Vipul. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. What about you?
I'm good too. Thank you. Can you tell me something about yourself?
My name is Bipin Singh. Currently, I have completed my graduation from Lovely Professional University in Computer Science and Engineering, and in July month. And after that, I am preparing for software testing role. And
Mm.
I have prepared manual testing and basics of API testing and basic commands of SQL
Mm-hmm.
in guidance of my seniors who are working in IT industry. Manual testing, I have studied about system testing, functional testing,
Mm.
non-functional testing,
Mm.
regression testing, sanity testing, and I have also basic knowledge of API testing. And
Mm.
I am looking for an internship or job opportunity.
Okay. Okay. Great. Great. Okay. So, what do you mean by a primary key? So, this with respect to SQL, what do you mean by a primary key?
Primary key in a table, we should have a unique key which do not include null value
Mm.
and a blank space.
Sorry, which primary key you were telling that it is a?
Yes, primary key is a unique value in a table
Mm.
which do not include null value and blank space.
Mm. So, do you mean to say primary key and unique key are same or different?
No, sir, different.
Different.
Unique
Right?
key can
Mm.
have null value
Mm.
and primary key do not have null value. And primary key in a single table, there is only one primary key and unique key may be more than one.
Correct. See, a primary key, you can say it's a column, or you can say it's a combination of columns that uniquely identifies each row in a table, right? So it will ensure that no two rows have the same values, right? And it does not allow null values. Whereas unique key might allow the null values. They might accept the null values, it accepts null values, unique key. Okay. What is foreign key? You can take your time to think, no worries. Hmm.
I know, but
Unable to recall?
yes, I know that, but
Uh,
I'm unable to recall right now.
no problem, no problem. So even if you have read, so let me help you in recalling that answer. So what is a foreign key? So foreign key will create a relationship between the two tables. It's a kind of a combination of columns. Okay. So it will refer the primary key of the another table. So that is known as the foreign key. Okay. Now, how will you fetch only unique records from a table? Let's say you have a table and you have to fetch only unique records from that table. So what query will you put in the SQL?
There is a query of
Mm.
like unique query we can use, sir, I think.
Mm-hmm. See, it's
Yes.
easy to remember the answer. Unique records. So unique records means
Unique.
you will be using distinct as a keyword, right? So
Yes,
you
sir.
will say select distinct column name from table name. So let me show you that query. Right, easy to remember. Whenever you have unique records, that means you need distinct records. It should not have any
Distinct.
duplicacy in
Yes,
the response. Right. So this is how you will write the query. Yeah, is my screen visible?
yes, sir.
Select distinct column
Yes.
name from the table name.
Yeah, yes,
Right?
yes. Yes.
Fine. Okay, great. Okay, what is the difference between where and having clauses?
Where, sir, when we have to distract a particular column from
Hmm.
a table, then we use where
Hmm.
uh, where clause. And if we have to find some columns with having that, suppose we have to find ID number 1, 2, 3, then we will use having that in this table name, having this ID, we will use having, and where we will use, if we want to distract particular column from any table, then we will use where.
See, let me share the screen. Okay. So where is used to filter the rows in a select, update, or delete statement. Where having is used for filtering the aggregated results, right? So where is used before any groupings is made, and having is used after the grouping by clause has been done, right? So that is the difference between where and having, right? Okay, great. Okay, what is the difference between delete and truncate?
So if we delete, then we can delete particular rows or column from a table. And so my voice is audible.
Yes, you're audible.
If we have to delete particular rows or column from a table, and we can't what to say? We can't get it again after deleting. But in truncate, we can, in delete we can get it again by, and in truncate we can't get it again after deleting that particular rows and column.
Okay, so the correct word would be, it can be rolled back.
Yes, sir.
In delete, it can be rolled back. In truncate, it cannot be rolled back, right?
Yes.
What would delete do? It will remove all the rows at a time, right? And it logs each delete operation. Whereas truncate will remove all the rows from a table by deallocating the data pages. So this is the basic difference between delete and truncate, right? Fine. What is the difference between software development lifecycle and software testing lifecycle?
Software development lifecycle.
Software testing lifecycle.
Yes, the software development lifecycle means it is a step-by-step procedure to develop a software. And software testing lifecycle is a procedure to test a particular software for ensuring the quality of the software. There are different phases in software development life cycles and software testing life cycle. I'll go with software development life cycle. Requirement analysis and gathering, software planning, software designing, and software development, software testing, and software deployment, and software maintenance.
And software deployment. Yes. Okay. Yes. Then?
And software maintenance. These are the phases of software development lifecycle. Now, software testing lifecycle. In software testing lifecycle, requirement analysis, test planning, test designing, test environment setup, test execution, test closure.
Okay. Test execution. What would test execution do? Yes, what will you do in the test execution phase?
In test execution phase, we test all those test cases which we have written in test designing phase, manually or by using automation. We test those test cases in test execution phase. Either that test cases are being passed or fail. This we do in test execution.
Okay. Let's say if you found a defect, then what would you do?
If any defect is occurred, then we will report it to the developer.
So can you tell me the defect life cycle?
Yes, sir. Defect life cycle. In defect life cycle, first it's new. Then assign. New, assign. Open. and open, fixed, and close. And in this, there is also two part. If software developer has tested it and it has not been passed the test case, then it will reopen again for the developer, and again it will be tested. And if it will pass, then test will be closed.
Okay. What is the meaning of deferred bug status?
Sorry, sir.
What is the meaning of deferred bug status? So you have whenever you assign a defect to a developer, either it would be fixed or it might be marked as deferred. Deferred. So what is the meaning of deferred bug status?
I haven't heard that particular default word.
Okay, no problem. So let this be an open question for the people who are watching this video. You can put the answer in the comment section of the video. What is meant by deferred bug status? Deferred as a bug status. Fine. So you were telling that you are getting these particular defects. It would be marked as fixed. Okay. What then? So once it is marked as fixed, then what will you do?
Then it will test will be closed, sir, for that particular test case.
Okay. Test case will be closed, but it can be reopened as well, right?
Yes, sir, it can be reopened if any defect and bug will occur in another testing.
Right. So you can reopen that particular defect as well. Fine. Now, let me share the screen. So, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
So you are supposed to come up with the negative test scenarios for this particular option, download app, right? So you can download this particular app. You can get it from Google Play, or you can get it from iOS App Store, right? Apple Store. So how would you come up with the negative test scenarios for this particular option?
So negative test case.
Not the test cases, the test scenarios.
Test scenario. Yes,
so you know the difference between test scenario and test case, right?
Yes, yes, sir. If we will click on download app, then these two options are coming, and we have to. If I am clicking on Google Play Store, then negative test case will be that it should not go to the Play Store option.
Then it's a bug.
Yes.
Right. What about the test scenario? How would you perform negative testing?
If I'm clicking on Google Play, then it will go to that particular Play Store option, and there it should not been showing that Miso app there, or some other app it should be showing there this test scenario for the this particular, and similar in iOS platform also.
See, the negative test scenario can be that you open this particular page and you disconnect the internet from your laptop and you click on Google Play option or on App Store. Then what happens, right? So that's a negative test scenario. Internet is disconnected. Or maybe when you were downloading it, at that time, internet got disconnected or network got disconnected, right? Network issue came up. Or maybe if there's a LAN cable connected to your machine, then you can disconnect the LAN cable and you can check how is the response that you're getting. Okay, one more option. Google Play option is in sync with your Google account. So you have logged in with your Google account. So accordingly on that particular mobile or on that device, it will get downloaded, right? So when you clicked on this particular option and then you sign out from that particular Google account and then you see in which account it is going, right? So those kind of scenarios you can observe. You clicked on download and you hit a refresh. You refresh this particular website, then see what happens. Same scenarios for iOS as well, right? Is it clear? Okay.
Yes.
Now let's say you have to perform the testing of the search functionality. So how much time do you need for testing this search functionality? How much time do you need? And testing
Sir,
everything.
sir, this only search functionality button.
Search functionality. Yes, yes.
Sir, it will depend on requirements of the client, and I
So-
can't commit actual time. It will be in the range.
Right, right. So client has given you a kind of a requirement, or you can say a user story. In that, they have just mentioned a single line statement that search functionality should work properly. Then what would you do?
Uh, I will try with different keywords like cap and spectacles, shoes, clothes. After typing in the search bar, it is taking us to that product or not. We will
Okay.
validate that.
Fine. So one is that happy path that you will be entering the product and you will be testing the product categories and relevant products are being displayed in the after the search. But one more thing that you have to take care is how much time does it takes come
Yes,
up with that
response
search
time.
response time. Yes. So response time, what is the response time? What is the performance of the website? And you
Yes.
can measure the performance of the website in different hours. So one would be the peak hours, one would be the normal hours. So how is the performance of the website? Peak hours means many people would be using that particular website at that time, right?
Yes.
Normal hours means you can say it's a kind of you can say if it is being used highly used in India, then night time is bit okayish, right? Not many people would be using from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. But peak
Performance
hours would
testing.
be evening. Yeah, sorry.
Yes, sir. It will be considered as performance testing.
Yes, yes, performance testing. So you are done with functional testing, you are done with performance. What else you will test? And how much
Uh,
time do you need to test this particular things? What is your test estimation? Yeah.
it will take 5 to 10 days
5 to 10
for the
days.
whole website. This search functionality with each and every products and with different time frames also. Like we will do performance testing for those.
Right. So what would you do in this scenario? Let's say if you get this question in a real-time interview, you have to tell the number of days. That is fine, the range that you are telling. But you also have to tell them about the different testing activities that you will take care of. Like for example, I told you in the user story, it has been just mentioned that search functionality should work fine. So first of all, you will understand the requirement, that what is the requirement, for how many products you have to test, for which all search things you have to check what all things you have to test, right? If I am comparing this testing with some other e-commerce website, then I am doing a kind of an exploratory testing. And I'm not very sure that whether that user story, I would be able to sign off or close that user story or not. So first of all, you have to get the clarity from the business analyst or from the project managers that what exactly is expected from this user story. So getting that requirement, then designing test scenarios, designing test cases, getting your test scenarios or test cases reviewed by the client as well as from your leads managers, then create the test data for the testing, then execute testing in all the environments. First, you will test in maybe you will sit with the developer and you will test on the developer machine in the developer environment. Then you'll test in the testing environment. You might do testing in the staging environment, whatever the process is, in whichever environments you have to test. So all that effort you have to consider. Then it might also happen that in the first cycle of testing, you might get some defects. And then again, those defects would get fixed. Again, you will have to retest them. You'll have to perform regression testing. So all those things would come into the picture, right? Okay. Now, how would you test these filters?
Yes.
These filter options are there. See, caps and hats is there. Then you have men socks,
Yes.
right? So how would you
Uh,
test these filters?
So we'll go into the filter section, and there are 1,000+ product it's showing there. Then we'll click on each. We'll like we are bookmarking it, caps and men socks. Then we will see that we will bookmark these two, and we will see that these two products will be it should be fetching on the product page, like cap and socks. And we will test for the different combination like jewelry, hats, like this. We will click on bookmark it, and we will see verify that same product is fetching on the product page or not.
Okay. So see, the behavior is if you are unchecking this option, you are seeing caps and hats, right?
Yes.
But if you are checking this option, handkerchiefs, so the moment you put a check, it comes up
Yes.
in the category, right?
Yes.
And you can see the results then are mixed ones,
The combination.
right? So those kind of things. Then you'll test these filters are working in your mobile as well as in other browsers as well,
Yes.
right? Those things you can do the
Compatibility
testing.
testing we will do
Yes.
also
Right.
in different devices and different browsers.
Right, right. So those kind of things you have to test. Now, which are the filters that are available? Now, if you click, so these are all the, I would say, filters. Now, if I clear all, so all the filter, nothing has been selected now. Everything has been clear, right? And these are the different filters. If you see type, material, all these things, discount, rating wise,
Yes.
price wise. So if you
Yes.
see under 249, then again, you should be able to see only the products whose price is under 249.
Yeah.
Right? Irrespective of whatever their rating is there. Reviews, right? So there are so many filters. So all these filters you will have to test, right?
Yes.
And what you can do is you can use testing techniques here. You can
Yes.
test each category once, and you can also do like this, that few categories you can test in the staging environment, few categories you can test in the test environment. So in the test environment, you have to do detailed round of testing. So everything cannot be tested. If you have less time, you can go for these kind of testing techniques like boundary value analysis, equivalence partitioning, right? You can bifurcate the filters category and accordingly you can test. Okay. You can test for men, one for women. You can test one for color, right? You can test for one for price option, right? Because all the options in the filters, it is not possible, right? So it is not possible to do everything. It is not possible to cover all the things in testing, which is the software testing principle about. So when I'm saying that everything cannot be tested, when I'm saying it is not possible to cover everything in testing, I'm referring to one of the software testing principle. What is that principle? Yeah.
Software testing technique or principles?
Principle. I am referring to one of the software testing principle. So to which principle I am referring to? That is exhaustive testing is impossible.
Yes, sir. Exhaustive testing is impossible.
Impossible, right? It is not possible to cover everything. It is not possible to test everything,
Yes.
right? Okay. What do you know about API testing?
So I don't know very much, but I have basic knowledge like what is API test.
Okay, you have basic knowledge. So can you define what is API testing, or have you done API testing earlier?
Yes,
Yeah. So which is the
network
tool
audits.
that you are using to do API testing?
So, it's a Postman, sir.
Postman tool. Okay.
I have
So
not very much exposure about it, but
okay,
little bit I have knowledge.
fine.
Postman.
No problem. No problem. Can you tell me an example of a defect with high priority and high severity?
Yes, sir. High priority and high severity.
Right.
So, suppose there is a e-commerce website, and if we are searching for any product like shoes, and that particular option is opening, but the image of shoes is not showing to us. And after clicking on that product to buy, the specifications or the review of that product is not showing to us, and it is not taking us to buy the product. That is considered as a high priority and high severity.
Hmm. So, any other example that you can refer to apart from this?
Yes, sir. Um, Login page, we will take a login page.
Apart from login page, if you can cover some other functionality.
Okay, sir. I will talk about banking domain. If,
Okay.
it is for any banking application,
Hmm.
and someone want to pay to someone
Hmm.
with his phone number by using his phone number or UPI ID. But
Hmm.
when he goes to search for his UPI ID,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
his UPI ID is coming, but he he's unable to pay him
Hmm.
by clicking on his UPI ID. Basically, the functionality of paying is not working for that particular person.
Hmm.
This will consider to be high severity and high priority.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Fine. Okay, Vipul, I am done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, feedback of the interview and what should
Okay.
be to
Yeah.
improve.
Okay. So first is you have to improve on the confidence level. Your confidence is a bit low, right? You are getting nervous while giving the answers. Even you know the answers, even you are aware about the correct answers, but still you are not that much confident. So maybe if you it might happen, you might be giving the interview for the very first time. That's why
Yes,
it might be happening, but that's very good that at least you are giving the interviews. At least you know what needs to be done. So that's a very good thing. You have to work on the confidence level. Second thing is on the real-time scenarios, things like we were discussing on the filters. We were discussing about the test estimation for the search functionality, right? So these kind of test cases, test scenarios based interview questions you have to focus on, right? And apart from that, the third thing is the communication skills, right? If you are able to communicate more properly, right? So I can understand, I think there were some 1 or 2 times there were internet issues. The network
yes,
was getting lag, but apart from that, you have to focus on English language because this communication skill will play a vital role when you are working, when you are starting your career as a software tester, because you have to, at times, you have to communicate to the client, right? So if you are unable to communicate, then it will be difficult to work with them. Right? So you have to take care of all these things. Rest all looks good, right? And I wish you all the best for your career ahead, and we'll keep in touch, right?
yes.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.